could have somebody who could bench 500. We get them to do this with body weight only. They're shaking like a leaf. Holy cow, this is really tough, but then their bench gets easier. Hey everybody, I'm Dr. Christopher Marvin. I go by Dr. Marv. I'm a performance chiropractor in the Houston Bay area, and these are my 4 favorite drills you should do every day, regardless if you're training or not, because it just flat out fixes a lot of stuff. So we're gonna be starting with your feet. Why? The foot's the driver of your lower body, and nobody looks at the foot, especially in lifting sports. So we need a lacrosse ball or a baseball. I think a tennis ball is too soft and a golf ball is too focalized. But what you're gonna do, it's super complicated. No, you're gonna roll out the bottom of your foot every single day for 1 to 2 minutes. Now, the first time you do this, to show you why the hell am I doing it, we're gonna do a simple test. You're gonna reach down and touch your toes, or attempt to, see where your hands land, feel your hamstrings. Then you're just gonna roll 1 foot out for 1 to 2 minutes. Don't overthink it, right? Nice and gentle. But after the minute or 2 mark is up, you're gonna reach down again. That same side hand will hang lower and that same side hamstring will feel looser. What the hell just happened? There's a guy smarter than me, which ain't hard to do, by the way. Thomas Myers created lines of fascia in the body. This is called the superficial back line, meaning shallow, going from the bottom of your foot all the way up to the front of your forehead. If I release tension in the bottom, release tensions in the whole line, this could even help neck pain. This is also gonna help your foot alternate between 2 major shapes, because how we're walking day to day dictates your hip mobility. Your hip mobility obviously is gonna be massive when you're in the gym. So every single day, no matter what, if you're training or not, roll your foot out with a cross ball. You do that religiously in 3 to 4 weeks, you will be blown away. Now we're gonna go to the hips and we're gonna do what's called a 90-90, but I do them a little bit differently. But why would this be something you're gonna do every single day? I like this, big bang for your buck. 1, no equipment needed, so no excuses. 2, this hip is externally rotated, this hip is internally rotated, right? Rotation's the name of the game. If we unlock rotation, everything improves. But what's really, really big, especially for my big strongmen, my powerlifters, my bodybuilders, it is gonna start stretching out the backside of your hip capsule, which we are notoriously known for getting tight, which is increasing restriction in the hip, which is going to make it harder to internally rotate. And that's what we need, right? Bodybuilding and powerlifting is more internal rotation driven. So you could recruit the glute, strongman's external rotation, but I still want my strongman to do this. But passive stretches get passive results, so we want to add an active element. And what I mean by that, 1, you might need to prop yourself up like I am, right? I am not the poster child for mobility, so do as I say, not as I do. But we want to activate things. So you're going to use your leg muscles, press both shins straight down to the ground, 10-20% effort, don't overdo it. Hold it for 5 seconds. You'll kind of feel your hips turn on and relax. Now, eventually we can increase the stretch on this with an important caveat. Most people, when they do this stretch, when they're just sitting in it, or they're stretching and they're rounding their low back. We want to keep our low back straight. So, not the poster child for mobility. I lean slightly forward. Then when I press both shins down, I get a bigger stretch on that front hip, which is externally rotated. If you want to emphasize the back hip, simply turn your shoulders there, press down again. Now, this is going to be a little bit more uncomfortable, especially if you have great restrictions in internal rotation. But again, we're stretching out the hip capsule. We're taking you to end range of both external and internal rotation, activating so you have better control through the full range of motion and get into better ranges of motion, and no equipment's needed. So when you're at the end of the day watching TV, scrolling through Instagram, watching another video on ELITEFTS, get on the damn ground, do this, 2 to 3 sets of 5 reps with a 5-second hold every day. Obviously do this before a training session and your low back will feel way better, your hips will feel better, and watch your numbers improve. Now we're moving up to the rib cage. Why? Well, remember I said the rib cage is the driver of the upper body, your foot's the driver of the lower body. Most folks who are really accomplished in strength sports have what's known as a wide infrasternal angle, meaning this part of the rib cage is very wide and they're compressed front to back. Compression is how you generate strength, expansion is how you generate mobility. So most really strong, big people are going to be compressed front to back, which is going to make it really hard to rotate. Again, depending on your sport, you might want a bunch of rotation, you might not, but it's going to stiffen everything up and it's going to make your shoulders harder to move. So if I could get this to expand front to back a little bit, yes, I could rotate more. So for my throwing athletes, my strongman athletes, this is going to help you generate strength. If you do Highland games, it's really big, but it's also going to make shoulder mobility work a hell of a lot better. It's also going to help you lean back. There's a bunch of stuff. I could keep talking about it, but you'll take my word for it. Just know, rib cage. You can do all the thoracic mobility in the world if you want. If you're not addressing the rib cage, you're mistaking the forest for the trees. So how are we going to get you from this super compressed Great for strength, but not great for mobility rib cage, to a little bit more expanded. We're gonna use a foam roller, a yoga block. I definitely used my metal water bottle and a rest stop table on a road trip when my mid back was killing me, which we'll come back to in a sec. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna lie, everything's perfectly stacked. This is right at nipple height. And we're gonna come back to, if you're having mid back pain, how you could use this almost like an adjustment, but everything is stacked. In the beginning, you might need to offload your weight. Now I just go, oh my God, this is amazing. But no, it's gonna be tender the first few times. In the gym, or when you're doing this every single day, I want your arm up anywhere from 90 to about 110 degrees. You're gonna breathe in through your nose, and you're gonna blow up birthday candles. And on the exhale, you try to relax your weight into the foam roller. So we're literally using this to expand you front to back. Now, we've all been there where we've got that stabbing pain right in between your shoulder blade. You take a breath and it hurts. It feels like your rib's out. No, the rib's not out. It didn't go anywhere, but this can really calm things down. So if you have mid back or rib cage pain, what you'll do is you'll put this on the ground. It's always at nipple height, so it's the middle third of your ribs. Even if it's a lower rib that's hurting, still put it here. I don't put my arm up because we're gonna lay on each side for 3, 4, 5 minutes at a time. I did this a couple weekends ago. Mid back was killing me. Got on the ground while I was watching the World Cup, sat on each side for 5 minutes, got up. Pain was reduced by 80%. So 10 breaths every single day. 10 breaths before training. You would do this early on. So if I'm doing rib cage stuff in the gym, and we're gonna talk about it on the podcast, do any like self myofascial release work first, and then you're gonna be doing this, right? 10 breaths each side. But if you ever have mid back pain, 3, 4, 5 minutes, it is a game changer. The more you do the rib cage, the better it'll be. Everything else will move better. Neck pain will get better. Shoulder mobility will get better. Performance will go up. It is a secret weapon. For all my bodybuilders, I almost forgot, this is gonna dramatically open up any of your twisting shots. I've lost track of how many really big dudes on the Olympia stage, we do this, they're able to rotate. They're literally gaining 2 to 4 inches of width. So if you're having a hard time getting that side tricep shot, right, that's notorious for big dudes and gals. Doing this, you could open up way more. It makes posing so much easier. It's one of my foundational movements to do prehab, rehab to improve posing. And last but not least, exercise 4. You're gonna do this every single day, whether you're training or not, but especially if you're training, you're gonna be doing this during your warm up. Shoulder TYWs with an asterisk, because I do them differently than most. But why am I choosing this to be foundational? Long story short, your shoulder blade has hooks, right? And 2 structures run below these hooks right up here. Your bicep tendon and your supraspinatus, which is the most commonly torn rotator cuff. Side note, we now know that 99% of people of the age of 45 have a rotator cuff tear. So don't let some fear-mongering ortho, PT, chiro, or osteo tell you you've got to get surgery because we found a tear and you're having no pain. But I digress. The most important action for long-term shoulder health in the world of strength is going to be taking those hooks, and it's called upward rotation, especially getting overhead or especially pressing. And only 2 muscles do that. One is your serratus anterior, which we're going to talk about on the podcast of how you could train that. And 2, the one that we're going to go after now, is your lower traps. Now, yes, technically your upper traps does a little bit, but your lower traps, that V shape, has the main mechanical advantage, but we typically don't train the lower trap. Why? To prioritize that muscle, we need our upper arm to be parallel with those fibers, which is a movement like that, which we don't do a ton of. Why I like this exercise though is 1 or 2 reps is a great posture reset throughout the day. So all my desk jockeys, my manual laborers, painters, landscapers, whatever, you're going to be doing this throughout the day. If you've got chronic neck pain, this is going to help that. It's going to lengthen your neck, create space. Shoulder pain, mid back pain, I could talk for 10 minutes. Let's get into it. So here's how I do them, and it's slightly different than most, and you need no equipment. So again, no excuses. You're gonna hinge forward, and you could be doing this sitting or standing. You're gonna give yourself a lovely double chin, and we're gonna form the letter T. But we're not gonna flap our wings like some people do. We're gonna pull and squeeze back behind you for 5 seconds. Then you're gonna do the letter Y, and you're gonna pull your hands back. So I don't want you like artificially retracting yet, but just wide. Pull back for 5 seconds. Then when you do the W, it's 2 movements. First, drive your elbows down. So yes, now your shoulder blades retract. And then in this bottom position, you're gonna rotate backwards. You're gonna feel increasing tension in your upper back with the most in the W. You're gonna hold each position for 5 seconds. It is almost comical. I could have somebody who could bench 500. We get them to do this with body weight only. They're shaking like a leaf. Holy cow. This is really tough, but then their bench gets easier. So shoulder TYWs, 2 to 3 sets of 5 reps with a 5-second hold. Now you're gonna do, 1 or 2 reps a couple times a day as a posture reset. If you start having some aching pain from shoulder impingement, well, that is a lazy man's diagnosis, but we'll cross that bridge when the time comes. This is a great reset. Bicep tendon issues, a great reset. Rotator cuff tendinopathy, just a great reset for everything. So this is foundational, body weight only. Do it every single day. Your neck will feel better, your upper back will feel better, your shoulders will feel better, and you should see some nice improvements in the gym.